This is to any attorneys that finally take my freaking case. My name's David Mendel. How are you today? It's let's see, whatever this is, Sunday night. I'm gonna start off like this. 20 years ago, well, before 20 years ago, I was having bad panic attacks. Had them my whole life. Finally, after actually getting off a plane and one of my fiancées going to Bermuda without me, I finally went on a medication called Paxil. The Paxil worked for me tremendously, tremendously. Um, Cured, I want to say, about 95% of my anxiety attacks. I've been taking it for 20 years. 10 years ago, I became homeless for the first time. I was, before that for 5 or 6 years, living in different places, cars and rooms, and so on and so forth. But first time I became homeless. I went to social services the first time, and they told me to go to a soup kitchen for 5 days, and then a soup kitchen could write a letter saying that they believe I'm homeless, and then they can get the paperwork started. And I told the woman, I said, young lady, it's not your fault I'm homeless. I'm a sick, compulsive gambler, and I met so many people shit all over me that, it's certainly not your fault. But are you kidding or what? No criminal record. I've never filed for unemployment or this or that or the other thing, except during COVID, which I've never gotten. And, what do you expect me to do? There's nothing you can do. That's number one why so many people are homeless. Go to a soup kitchen for 5 days. So finally, I wind up living in a bulldozer behind a Walmart 6.5 years ago. Actually, it was going on 7 years ago. Um, and maybe for, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, I had gone to St. Joseph's Hospital complaining that I had some chest pains from my sternum to my chin. But I had gone there a total of 9 times because they were kind enough to give me the medication called Paxil, the scripts for it, because I had no primary care doctor, and I couldn't afford one, and I couldn't get the scripts. So what transpires is this. Finally, after living in that bulldozer, I wind up going to social services, and they lie for me from the start. You'll have your food stamps in a day, it's 3 days. But believe me when I tell you, I'm talking about these things so everybody knows, so I don't have to keep on repeating it time and time again. Social services is the reason so many people are fucking homeless. So now what transpires is this. I had gone to St. Joseph's with those chest pains, and each time they were very nice to me, said, David, go to a cardiologist, but everything checks out. Finally, after 3 months or 2 months, whatever it is, with social services, I wind up getting Medicaid. And let me interject right now about me not having Medicaid for the last 4 years, right? I have been to social services 20 times. They sent me 20 different places, lied and lied and lied to me about Medicaid, and they admit it. And I have the form saying filled out, and they sent me here, there, and the other where. So they're disgusting fucking people. And let me just say right now in front of everybody, in Deer Park, what the people do to you there is unconscionable, number one. Number two, you could have 40, 50 people in that place at a time, or sometimes more, and they have one person that makes up the cards. One. I've been fighting it for years. One person that makes up the cards. It's disgusting, and they get away with it. So now what transpires is this. I wind up getting the Medicaid from social services. About a week after I got the Medicaid, I go back to St. Joseph's for the prescription and tell them I'm having the chest pains. The next day, I'm having a quad fucking bypass by myself at St. Francis with 300% blocked arteries and 195. So now what transpires is this. I wind up leaving the freaking hospital early because they keep on trying to feed me oxycodone. All right? And I wind up going back to the only place that social services would put me was to pay $300 a month, and this place cost $600. It was a bunch of recovering addicts, at the place. While I'm there, after my quad bypass, it took 8 weeks for me to get a cardiologist. They couldn't find me one anywhere. Turns out it's on the grounds of St. Francis Hospital. And you know how I found out? Because after living in that shithole, all right, the place got bed bugs. And then I'm living in a truck with bed bugs, and I went back to St. Francis to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor, Dr. Marino, wound up getting me a cardiologist in, only 5 minutes. So I'm going to bounce a little bit, but you all better pay attention. I hope you do. So now what happens is this. I wind up, all right, in a horrible, horrible position. And now I got to get meds. So what happens is this. I wind up going to St. Joseph's a bunch of times for them to get me prescriptions for the meds. And they were very nice. They gave them to me. And finally they said, fuck you. And finally I said, fuck you. You misdiagnosed me. You should be blowing me every day. All right? So, alrighty. All of a sudden I got a freaking, I got insurance. And I got 300% blocked arteries and 195. No insurance. Oh, you're fine, Dave. Go to a cardiologist. Everything checks out. So now what transpires is this. I wind up, I can't get the script from them anymore. All right? They send me to Nassau County Medical Center. I go there. I can't get it. I can't get the script. I had to go back and make an appointment. I go back to the emergency room. I check into the emergency room, and I see a woman named Dr. Fadouche. She's the head psychologist there, psychiatrist there, and a doctor, as she says, also. So I'm with this woman for 20 minutes, so on and so forth. Okay, good. Yes, David, da-da-da, so on and so forth. Dr. Fadouche, can I have the script? No. What do you mean? You got to come back and make an appointment. Now, again, I'm off my meds 5 or 6 days. I'm living in a junked car that I bought, a fucking lemon. All right, junked for 4 years, a year after I bought it, which again, no one would help me. And having to take buses to this place, and I'm saying, how could you not give me the script? So she tells me I got to go to City Med or urgent care. And I tell her, Dr. Fadouche, I'm fucking broke. I'm penniless. What are you kidding? I can't do that. I have no money. Well, you got to come back and make an appointment. So I wind up going to City Med. And again, they were actually, cheap at first, but then they were very, very nice. Dr. Zimmerman and I can't think of the other, Dr. Capasso, were very, very nice to me. And, but they got sick of me trying to get the scripts from them. And the weird thing was, once I got to Medicare, and I even filmed that they recommended me a doctor, and then I had to go to a different one, and to recommend me another doctor, they wanted another $200 from Medicare. Oh, everybody's a fucking crook. So, anyhow, all right, I got to go back to Nassau County Medical Center, and I make an appointment, and I go to this J building, and there's a woman there. I says, could you just do me a favor? Could you call the emergency room and just get me the script? And she tried, but they said, no, you got to put them down to psych. So all of a sudden, they put it down to psych, and it was like me, my whole life, a Twilight Zone. All of a sudden, she says, no, I don't want to speak to Dr. Fadouche. Is there another doctor there? And I went, no, Dr. Fadouche, no, I don't want her either. Now, I'm laughing a little bit, but I've been through fucking more hell these last few weeks than you could ever fucking imagine. So, what happens is this. I got to go get, my script from Dr. Fadouche, and they all know I'm not going into psych. I'm not committing myself, nothing. I just want the script. I've gotten it from 30 different doctors, all say, okay to give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, so on and so forth. Not going in there, because my biggest fear in the fucking world is being cooped up against my will. All right? The worst fear, and I'll do anything to make sure it doesn't happen. And it fucking happened again. So now, what goes on is this. I get an escort down there, and they all know I'm not going in, not going in. All of a sudden, what happens? I walk inside, the door closes, and the guy says, you got any jewelry? And I says, what are you talking about? He goes, take your shirt off. And I reach for the door, I go, listen, I made it very clear I'm not staying here. And he said to me, and this is what fucked me up for almost a year, and now it's like I can't even think. It's not almost anywhere near as bad as what these people at Zucker have done to me in South Oyster Bay. So what happens is this, all right? He says to me, you had that choice a minute ago. And I started freaking. But I know if I freak, they're going to put me in some kind of jacket and I'm by myself. Nobody's going to see me again. So all of a sudden this Dr. Fadouche lady comes out. And I go, Dr. Fadouche, all right, I told you, I'm not staying here. Okay, I'm not committing myself. Nobody's committing me. Nothing. Zero. I just want my script. She goes, David, have something to eat. Well, try to make a long story short, which I can't. But this lady, I've been just waiting to file these fucking lawsuits. All right. And this lady, I would deserve to be fired so badly. And that kid that told me I had that choice a minute ago, oh, I can't wait till they lose their jobs. So now she keeps me in there for 45 minutes. It felt like a week. And she said, David, there's one of my colleagues is on the 16th floor. I'm training him. He wants to meet you. You're a very interesting person. And I said to her, Dr. Fadouche, I'll buy the guy dinner as long as it's outside that metal door. And she wouldn't let me go. And I said to her, Doctor, see, and this new medication makes me cry a lot. But I'll get through that also. So now what happens is this. I said to her, can I make a phone call? And she says no. And that's when I started, I can't say the worst panic attack ever, because the ones over the last couple weeks have been fucking worse. So now I'm freaked out. And then she says to me, David, he's about 15. She goes, David, have something. I don't want anything to eat, Dr. Fadouche. I don't want, okay? David, he's on the 4th floor. So basically, this fucking woman finally let me go. I was the most scared that I've ever been up until recently. And I hit the grass and kissed the grass, and I said, oh my God. And for the past year, up until recently, alrighty, basically, I've cried a few times, all right, but, my crying or dancing or laughing is, I guess, what helps me, and sometimes I could be pretty nasty, but I'm not violent. So anyhow, this is what transpires. I've been trying to turn things into Breon Peace. It's a nurse murderer tapes. Now, you just heard that. It's a nurse murderer tapes. I've been trying to turn these things in for almost 5 years now. And I will go back and explain this to you. Alrighty, I recorded a nurse at a place called Farrell's in West Islip bragging that she lets people die in an emergency room. Her and her team have been doing it for 6 years. How fucked up does that seem to you right now? Well, if you did what I asked previously and you listened to the tapes, alrighty, you'd freak out like they did at Syosset Hospital too. So I had them for 4 days. Everybody said, oh my God, it's real, it's real, it's real. So what I did, and this is what talks about with the loony bin. Nobody would pay attention to me, so I went to ABC News, 5 o'clock in the morning. I put a sign up against the window while they do the live show. I said, I have a nurse murderer, serial murderer, that I need to turn into the police, but I'm afraid to go in by myself. So they look at me, they wave, so on and so forth. All of a sudden the cops come, all right? And I said, listen, I know how nutty this sounds, but I have this tape, so on, just listen. So, yeah. So all of a sudden, what happens? The loony bin truck shows up. And I'm scared fuck, because I'm living in that car, already. I don't know what's going to happen if, God forbid, they take me away. So they put me inside the truck, and I'm in it for about 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, they said, David, how do you spell myself? And I said, Myself. Why? Well, when you spelled it on the sign, you spelled it wrong. Okay, you can go. So there's one incident, and I know how nutty this sounds, like you don't want people, or you don't want to be diagnosed as crazy or what have you. Yeah, that's true. I know how nuts I am. Alrighty? I truly, truly do. I'm wacky as can be. Funny whack. They want to call me bipolar. I don't think it's bipolar. I think it's mostly, I don't know which is the up part. Alright? But most of the time, I'm laughing, dancing, having a fucking good time. Alright? But that aside, so now I wind up, to this day, nobody's done a thing about this. So here's what transpires. For the last year, I've slept at Robert Moses Field 5 every night with all the stuff written all over my white Jeep about how the only person to choose a woman's choice is a woman, and how I'm running for Suffolk County Executive, and all these different things that everybody agreed with all over my white Jeep that was behind the payments and now is an impound. Holy shit. So every night I slept there, the cops were really cool to me, and they all knew. I couldn't tell you how many times I told them I didn't have a fucking penny, wasn't eating. God forbid anybody bought you dinner. And Nino, fuck you, Nino, with the white clam sauce you never bought me, you scumbag. So, see, I can be nasty. This is a creepy cop, alrighty? State police guy. Again, so what happens is this. I've been trying to turn these things in forever. So, 4 weeks ago, on a Thursday, I parked right in front of the Captain's Table restaurant at Captree. And the cop comes by, young cop I didn't know very well, and I said, listen, this is a situation. I want you to call either Mayor Bloomberg, Mayor Adams, retired Judge Hurley, and or Judge Resigliano. I have things I need to turn in to Mr. Breon Peace, and it's about Turkish people doing very bad things that I believe, and other people who've seen those videos believe it to be also, and a few other different things. And I'm not getting out of the car or moving the car until you call them. And I said, so this knucklehead didn't know what to do. I go, listen, I'm for real. So he did nothing. And again, they know me. So then this guy Nino comes by. He goes, Dave, what's going on? I says, Nino, you know me a year, right? Yep. You know me wacky and unique, right? Yeah. You know me to do anything stupid or anything except, prevent these kids from doing the stupid things in the parking lot or going body surfing at 2 o'clock? No. Agrees with everything I say. I go, Nino, I got things I'm afraid to turn in, plus I have a problem with a couple of police officers, and I'm afraid of them, what the repercussions might be, and also the repercussions from the people that know nothing about these things. So, what happened is I had given these tapes to the FBI 4 years ago. I went there, they took the tapes. I kept asking for a year what's going on. They wouldn't tell me. Finally, they tell me that they asked me if they can give them over to the head of Northwell Security. And I said, of course, I want to find out what's going on. Well, for more than 2 years, Mr. Dreyfus at Northwell, which is very coincidental, happens to be the place I was just at, locked up. Well, Mr. Dreyfus hasn't returned my phone call for more than 2 years. So now there I am. Nino is the second cop that shows up, as I said to you, and I go, Nino, search my car. Alrighty, check it out, because God, I don't want you to get in any trouble. If you didn't search the car and there was something in there, but okay, search the car, so on. Just call the fucking people. Get them down here. So he wouldn't do it. So I told him, okay, see you later. These freaking idiots made me call 911. I did it. I called 911, and it's true, I was having some chest pains. So I said I was, believe I'm having a heart attack, and told them I had a quad bypass, and I said, I'm okay. And, they're talking me through it, say the ambulance is coming. As soon as the ambulance pulled up, or actually before the ambulance pulled up, I cursed out these two idiot cops, and I said, "You see what you made me fucking do? You think I'm playing here? Nino, listen to the tapes. Listen to these tapes. They're fucked up. Watch these. They're fucked up." They wouldn't do it. So as soon as the ambulance got there was a couple of them. I stuck my, I told them, "I'm so sorry. I apologize to you. I'm not having a heart attack. Okay, I'm okay. And this is why I had to do this." So they were a little pissed off, which I understood, and they left. As a matter of fact, I bought them flowers with a little sign the day that I got out. I brought it to the place along with the girl well, I'll get on that in a second. The girl with the coffee. So nobody does a thing. So finally, 7:30 in the morning, I'm parked right in front of the restaurant there, the captain's table, and I wind up going inside, taking a cup of coffee, and telling the beautiful young lady there that I'm stealing the coffee. Please call the police. Now I'm hoping that freaking Suffolk County comes, but who is it? These two knuckleheads again, and a couple of others. All right. So they go, "Dave, all right, you got to get out of the car." And I said, "Nino, I'm not getting out of the car. I want you to smash the window. Don't break any other things. And as soon as you smash the window, I will get out. All right? I will get out. You know me. I'm not, okay? I just got to call whatever attention I have to freaking call. I need to call attention to what's going on. You saw me. You know me. Okay? And all of a sudden, they're shaking the car. Okay? Blah, 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 blah. I go, "Nino, just break it." Okay. Now, they broke the window. And now they wind up breaking the other one, too, the fucking idiots. All right? So they wind up, they weren't too rough on me, actually, at all, okay? Except for the fucking handcuffs. They brutalized me with the handcuffs. Finally, they took them off. And so I'm going to end it right there, alrighty? And then I'm going to continue with how I wound up spending 2 weeks in the... I hate to call it the loony bin because the people there were so very nice and they're so fucked up. And I'm talking about the people, the patients, all right? Not the people that take care of you, although a few were very nice.